Hi, my name is Vic Mignogna, the voice of Edward Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist, and guess what? You're watching Flame Runner.
So Ashley plans to flood the valley with lava, thus killing all the Milosians because they persecuted his family? Really? Oh, but this is apparently because Ashley's stone has corrupted his soul and... This is just stupid.
What are you planning to do with the star?
I'll use it to open the doorway of truth. And then I will establish a new order, a world nobody has ever seen before. It will be my ultimate achievement. Truth is the only thing worth striving for, and I shall master it.
Wow, where do I even begin? That makes no sense. People can acquire something from the gate if they offer something in exchange. Ed is able to retrieve Alphonse's soul because he offers his arm as payment. At what point have we ever established that reaching the gate gives you godlike powers? We have reached Eckhart levels of stupidity, but at least, I am positive that we have hit rock bottom, and we will not hear anything more dumbfoundingly stupid.
You'd sacrifice countless lives in your quest for the truth! How can you delude yourself into thinking that's right?
Spare me! Look at the actions of your own country. You perpetrate senseless slaughter and call it justice. I see no reason to accept a world that allows such atrocity. I will use my power to purge it once and for all!
You're only looking for an escape because you can't handle this reality! You say you want to make a new world, but you can't use truth as a tool to destroy what's real!
Can't use truth as a tool to destroy what's real!
Well, now that I have deleted that philosophical bullshit from my memory, let's observe this climatic animation. God, this looks awful. I mean, what is this? What am I even watching? Since when has Ed been able to leap tall buildings in a single bound? I mean, this fight is so over the top, I half expect Ashley to reveal that he's actually the Spiral King, and he sends the moon plummeting towards Earth, and it's going to hit Milos, but Ed gets in Logon and fights him. What the hell am I even watching? What have they done to your face, Ed? Julie manages to stop the lava flow using the Philosopher's Stone, and uses her Deus Ex earring to channel her energy towards Ashley's earring, which kills him. However, Julia doesn't want her genocidal brother to die, and she uses her Philosopher's Stone to perform human transmutation. And it works.
Illuminati.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with this. As we will later learn, she didn't technically enact human transmutation. She used a combination of the Sanguine Star and her left leg to pull Ashley's soul from beyond the gate and heal his body. Since it was moments after he supposedly died, I'm willing to chalk it up to he was clinically dead, but there was still time to save him. The Milosians successfully take back Table City and Mount Poros, establishing the independent nation of Milos. We then cut to the next day, where Julia and Ashley are recovering in the hospital.
It seems one's missing. I thought it was a pair of them he left us with.
No, don't worry about it. That's how it's supposed to be. I only need one.
And when he is committing genocide wherever he is, I am sure he is thinking of me.
Julia and the Elric stand on their obvious metaphor that I don't understand, and reflect on what's happened. Julia spouts some crap about how at first she was protecting her family's memory, but now she is fighting to protect the people, and Al and Julia are implied to have a relationship, which is pointless seeing how we know this is not going anywhere. And the Central Cast leaves the West to go back to Central City.
Tell me something, Fullmetal. That girl didn't actually perform human transmutation, did she?
That's right, he wasn't completely dead yet.
That makes sense. You cannot bring someone back once they've been lost. We need that one certainty. Without it, how could we know the meaning and value of human life?
Oh, look! We're leaving the valley behind.
And that's the movie. What did I think of this movie? I gave Conqueror of Shambala a lot of shit for its ending, but as a whole, it had great dialogue, great action, and great characters both old and new. This movie? I really don't know how I feel about it. A lot of people hate this movie because most of the major characters are either absent or barely in the movie. Even Ed and Al are sidelined for the Cridons, which I would be okay with if the Cridons were more interesting characters. To say Julia is bland would be a bit harsh, but she seems to fulfill a trope throughout the whole movie. That trope being that she's this strong, brave, and courageous female leader that all the Milosians admire, but we never see her fully live up to this. Even the conflict about sacrificing people to create a Philosopher's Stone is never followed up on. Atlas is the one who ends up creating the stone, and Julia uses the, well, they're already dead, so I might as well put their souls to good use excuse, which the Elrics have used as well. And Ashley? What the hell do I even say about him? He shows up at the last minute to spout some crap about how he must eradicate the valley because the Milosians discriminated his family, and that they are primitive people who cannot progress beyond their narrow mindset. And then Julia goes to great lengths to save this genocidal maniac, and the Milosians just let him go. Although, the weird thing is, I actually feel like I understand what they were trying to do with Ashley's character, even when Ed is giving the whole, you can't use truth as a tool to destroy what's real speech. I felt like they were trying to create a villain who has lost faith in humanity, and instead of trying to make the world a better place like Julia, he has instead decided to destroy and rebuild the world. But the movie introduces this dichotomy between the siblings during the third act. In fact, that's what this movie lacks, an overarching theme. Interesting or potentially interesting characters and themes are introduced only to die or be forgotten. And as a whole, this movie adds nothing significant to the Fullmetal Alchemist franchise. Heck, the movie's ending credits involve a train going back to Central City, like, yeah, that was a nice detour, alright, back to business. Although, I would be lying if I said I didn't find some enjoyment from this movie. The soundtrack is great, the action at times is well done, and for the sake of universe building, I like that we get to see what's on Central's western front, opposed to the east and Ishbal. But most importantly, being a Fullmetal Alchemist fan, an additional hour and a half with Ed and Al is always worth it. It's a skippable movie, but if you have the time, you may be glad to have seen it once. But yeah, greatest installment in the Fullmetal Alchemist franchise. No, this is definitely the worst. Anyway, tune in next week for the long-awaited part 2 of my top 10 worst creepypastas.